It's time for another Broken Plane podcast, coming to you from the Pod Shed in Tigard, Oregon, with your hosts TK and JB.
Welcome to the Broken Plane Podcast, Season 2, Episode 25, Regular Season, Week 5. Can you believe it? I'm JB.
I'm TK.
How you doing, TK?
I'm okay.
You're doing just fine.
I'm okay.
Just fine.
I'm better now that I'm home.
Exactly, yeah. You may notice if you're listening to this, and it's, I guess, Tuesday afternoon.
Not Friday.
Not Friday. That's because... TK and I, where we work, there has been kind of a hubbub of activity, and it's going to affect our recording schedule for this week. So we're going to try, instead of just the one show on Friday, we're going to try to record maybe two shorter shows, and hopefully that'll make up the difference. They're keeping us late. They expect us to do work things.
Wait, 5 p.m.? Are you kidding me?
I know, right?
We leave at 3:30.
I have a hard time.
And even that's too late.
I have a hard time keeping my eyes open past 4.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that, and we'll get right into things. A Twitter fan of the week, of course. Even though it's a short week, we still have one. We might even have two.
We might even have two. We might do this twice.
We've got a lot of great fans this season, so we got to recognize as many of them as we can.
Who do you got this week?
This week, it's Janet at Ms. J-Lo. Janet's she's been with us for a couple of weeks now. Janet jumped on after I started giving out free fantasy advice, unsolicited, on Twitter. She keeps coming back. She digs it. Hopefully it's helping. Hopefully I haven't done her wrong.
You know what? I've been watching, because I'm a judge. I'm a judger by nature, and I've been watching what you've been doing. And I'll be honest with you, what you write makes just as much sense as what everybody else that I read writes. I think you're doing pretty good.
I'm not sure what the percentage is. I don't want to keep track of it.
I wouldn't.
As long as people keep coming back.
Yeah.
And hey, if you can't make up your own mind, I'm going to make it up for you.
It seems best that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's part of it, too, because, I mean, deep down inside, you're going to play who you want to play.
Yeah.
And if you want justification for playing one way or the other, you'll keep asking the question until you get the answer you want.
Maybe I should start giving reasons for both or all players that they're asking for.
There is no right decision.
I really like Naheem Hines because of this, but I really like Chris Thompson because of this.
Who is Miss J-Lo been asking about?
This week, she wanted to know Vance McDonald or O.J. Howard. I definitely did her wrong this week.
Oh, you went with O.J.?
Because O.J. Howard did everybody wrong this week. He got injured. I don't think he even had a catch.
That's rough.
Vance McDonald, it started out looking like a good recommendation. Vance opened it up with a reception, which was promptly stolen away from him by Tony Jefferson. That was looking good. Negative points versus no points, but then Vance did his thing, rumbled and fumbled for a little bit, rumbled and stumbled for a little bit. I think he probably finished with about 5 points. I robbed her of minimal points.
You could have done worse then, is what you're saying.
My advice was sound.
Okay. All right. That's solid.
Anyway, we appreciate you interacting with us, Janet, and
That's right.
Hopefully you don't hate me for the O.J. Howard snafu. We'll keep trying.
Bad things happen to good fantasy football prognosticators.
Exactly.
But thank you very much, Janet, for
shout out to Janet at Ms. J-Lo, MIZZJLO. Give her a follow. Thanks for following. We appreciate everything you're doing for us.
All right. You can catch us at The Broken Plane on Twitter, thebrokenplanepod@gmail.com, or on YouTube, any of those places. And if you want to reach out, if you want to leave a review, those things are great. Comments, if you have a comment for us, drop it there.
Yeah.
Or hit us up on Twitter. So we were just talking about the Bucks and the Bears and O.J. Howard. Let's talk about the game, because I heard after the game, Dirk Cutter's press conference, where he said that 53 people were responsible for the loss. And let's be honest now, when you lose 48 to, was it 6? It's a team effort. Everybody on the team did bad.
48-10, yeah.
48-10. It's a complete team. It's a team catastrophe. That's a 40-point loss. Let me put you this way: if somebody would have come to you before the game started and said all the Bucks need to do to win today is score 49, would you have said that seems reasonable?
Well, they've done it before.
Not this year.
I guess it wasn't 49.
No.
Was it 48?
No.
When didn't they beat New Orleans 48-40 or something like that?
They put up some points against New Orleans, but this seemed excessive though. This seemed like a beat down.
This was too much.
And my question to you: we've been talking about Fitzmagic and does Fitzmagic have it? Well, I think that ship may have sailed this week.
It's over.
Yeah, I think probably you put in Winston now and you
Winston's
roll
been named the starter
for as long as you can,
Yeah.
and that's probably appropriate. It was, you know what, Fitzpatrick had a couple of great games.
It was fun while it lasted.
and that's over now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you hold one side of the ball more or less responsible for this loss?
No. The defense didn't do their job. The offense didn't do their job.
Okay, but if for the defense to do their job, they would have had to hold the Bears to 10 points or less.
That's what I'm saying, but the offense didn't do their job either. They should have scored more points than 10. Then the defense doesn't have to hold them to 10.
That's true. We've talked about this before. I mean, we've decided, what is it? How many points do you need to score?
21.
3 touchdowns.
Somewhere around there. That's
Yeah.
that's what you ideally want, because you can allow your defense to give up a couple of touchdowns and a couple of field goals.
I think that sounds right. If you're a team and you score 21 and don't win, then you can kind of maybe point towards the defense.
Something's
and say,
happening, or you're playing a really high-powered offense.
Yeah, and it's be like, you know what, maybe you should keep the ball out of the end zone more.
Yeah.
But if you only score 10, that's kind of, you got to score more points, right?
Only does that fly in the NFC West, winning with 10 points.
Nobody wins in 10. Who wins with 10 points in the?
Well, if you're playing the Cardinals.
Okay. That's okay.
And some days if you're playing the Seahawks.
That's a little bit. We're going to talk about that game in just a second, as much as I don't want to. But yeah, I was listening to Dirk Cutter's press conference, and I don't like him under the best of circumstances, but he seemed kind of downtrodden. He really seemed down by this.
He's done.
You think so?
Stick a fork in him.
Oh,
He's done. Mike Smith's done. Mike Smith's been terrible. The Tampa Bay defense has been awful for a while.
It has been. They got Vita Vea back. They got some guys on that defense too.
I didn't get to watch him. I didn't see how much he did, but he didn't make a tackle.
So are we saying that Tampa Bay's bad, or are we saying that Trubisky is 6 touchdowns good?
More likely that Tampa Bay is just bad.
Okay.
Considering Trubes had like 2 touchdown passes in the first 3 games.
Well, Trubisky seems to be coming on a little bit though.
Looking better.
And actually, you know what? Game 4 is a good time to start making that move. So he's, the first part of the season, he got it under his belt. He's feeling pretty good, and now off we go.
We'll see. They're heading into a bye now, so that's nice. They got some time to recover.
Good to win going into the bye week too.
Yeah, but they come back at Miami. That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be an easier game now that Miami came in and laid an egg.
Yeah.
Against New England, so that'll be good too.
Oh boy.
That was fun to watch. In fact, that was so much fun to watch. That was not fun,
and not even because I don't like Miami.
That was. I'm going to tell you why it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch because it gave me a chance to take a nap, and then when I woke up and thought that it was halftime, CBS had already changed the game.
Yeah.
To who was it that they were showing?
Cincy.
Yeah, it was Atlanta Cincy they were showing.
Yeah.
And I woke up and was like, "Wait a minute, what's the score?
What happened here?"
That was awesome. Anyway,
I forgot that they did that. I was pleasantly surprised to be watching a game that mattered.
Well, I don't know if it mattered, but it was competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It mattered to me.
It didn't matter to me at all. Because the Bengals won.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing.
Matty Ryan, I hate that guy. Jeez.
They still haven't gotten Julio Jones a touchdown.
How can you not?
The dude has 2 games over 150 yards receiving, and the other one's like 97, and he has no touchdowns. Meanwhile, Calvin Ridley has 5 in the last 2 games.
How does that work? How do you do that?
I don't know.
It's
impressive.
It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me at all. Is there another team in the NFL with better receivers? Don't come with me. Well, the Rams have the best. No. Is there another team in the NFL with better receivers than the Falcons have right now?
You could make the argument for me that Pittsburgh does.
With Brown and Schuster.
Brown and Juju.
Yeah.
That's it. James Washington isn't that much of anything, but
there is so much offensive talent.
They do have Darius Hayward-Bay.
Yeah, okay. There's so much offensive talent in Atlanta right now.
There really is.
And I don't understand how they ever lose games.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Their defense is supposedly fairly good.
Yeah.
They got one of the best offensive lines in quite some time.
Matt Ryan is slowly morphing into Phillip Rivers.
Don't know what's going on.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
He's turning himself into Phillip Rivers.
It's Chargers East.
For an elite quarterback, he loses a lot of games.
Man.
Yeah, so okay. That's fine. We don't need to talk about them anymore. Before we got too much farther, I did want to. We said we'd get back to the Seahawks game.
Okay.
And we're not really going to talk about the Seahawks game because the Seahawks won. That's all you need. But the story of the game is Earl Thomas breaking his leg. Yeah, and it's actually the same leg that he broke 2 years ago. So I'm gonna get this out of the way first. Okay. One of the reasons why Seattle didn't want to sign Earl Thomas is that he hasn't put together a 16-game season in like the last 4 years. Now, that's not to say that he hasn't been productive, because he certainly has. But the older he gets, the more dinged he gets, the less available he is to play. It's one of the big reasons why John Snyder didn't sign him to an extension.
Yeah.
Okay. So that sucks, right? Because obviously, for what he's done for the team, you would feel good about giving him something. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works in the NFL. You're not paid based on what you've done in the past. You're paid based on what you're going to do for me going forward. Going forward, you're turning 30 this year. You're not an elite level. When you're 33, you're not going to be the best safety in the NFL. I mean, can we agree on that? You're going to slow down a little bit. You're not the biggest guy in the world. They can't shift you to strong safety, right? He doesn't have the body type that you want to see at strong safety. He's going to lose speed, and then he's not going to be as effective at center field.
And apparently he breaks a leg every 3 years.
And not getting touched, he manages to break a leg. It's the same leg, too. The same injury. And I'm not going to talk about him getting carted off the field and flipping off the sidelines because you know what? I get that. And I don't hold him responsible for that at all. Well, okay, that's not true. I hold him responsible because he's a grown man and he's responsible for his own actions. But I don't care. I'm not saying I would do the same thing, but I get it. I completely understand where he's coming from. But
who was he talking to the Arizona fans?
No, he was flipping off the Seattle sideline.
Oh, his teammates basically.
Well, the coach, I think. Yeah. I think it was aimed at Carroll and Schneider. If John Schneider was on.
Did Carroll really have anything to do with it?
I don't think Carroll had. Well, no, John Snyder's the guy that.
I know. I'm sure Carroll would have happily taken him if they wanted to pay him.
The other thing to keep in mind with Pete Carroll and Earl Thomas is Earl Thomas was the first draft pick that Carroll made when he came into Seattle.
So maybe it hurts that he didn't push a little harder to have him retained.
Maybe, but again, I go back to you can't extend a guy and put him in a place where that's how salary cap issues happen, right?
Yeah.
You start paying guys for what they did last year instead of what they're going to do next year, and now you can't afford anybody else because the guys you've got big contracts with are underperforming. Well done. Now your team's exploding. So I completely understand. I understood it when Earl Thomas wasn't practicing too, because I wouldn't practice either. You have as much of a chance or more of hurting yourself in practice as you do of doing it in the game.
Yeah.
Now with all of this in mind, every single one of you out there who is complaining about Le'Veon Bell not being on the field, this is why. This is exactly why. Because now when Earl Thomas comes back next year, he's not an elite level safety anymore. Now he's a guy who broke his leg twice and is going to, he's 30, so he's losing a step. Right out of the box, without me looking at him on the field at all, these are the things I'm going to say about him.
Right.
Not fair. Maybe not true. I don't care. Right? If this same thing happened to Le'Veon Bell, if he comes back, which he's going to do, you said you saw it today, he put out, was a statement?
Rejoin the team. It's from a source.
Okay.
That guy.
Right.
Come back, join the team on their bye week, week 7.
And that's kind of when we slotted him to come back.
Right.
We were talking about that would be an interesting time for him to come back, and it seems to make sense. But if he comes back in and he wrecks his knee, because that's a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
And then what's he got?
He's not getting a lot of money.
Is he going to get signed at all?
He'll get a contract.
Well, will he?
He's not that old. Yeah, he'll get a contract once he's healthy.
Because think about this: if he comes back after in week 8, okay, so the first game back would be week 8. That puts it into the end of October, right? And if he wrecks his knee in that first game, he's going to come back next year, mid-October, end of October, and then he's not going to be right until 2020. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's going to line up.
He's still 28.
Everybody's going to line up to give that guy a contract.
With a 26-year-old amount of wear and tear.
Oh, man. You know what? Le'Veon Bell is doing absolutely the right thing. They should have guaranteed contracts. The NFL should have guaranteed contracts. Yeah. I am stunned that they have not collectively bargained for guaranteed contracts. Because a guaranteed contract puts a lot of this stuff, it sweeps it away.
It resolves it, yeah.
Yeah. It takes care of it. You don't need to worry about it anymore. If the NFL, if Le'Veon Bell had a guaranteed contract, he'd play. I bet you he would be here.
Or do they need to get rid of the franchise tag? Because that's what a lot of these guys are getting upset about too. Yeah. It's just a 1-year deal that doesn't give them any guarantee outside of that 1 year.
Yeah, it's no security.
Yeah.
And you see guys, when you can play through it, look at Kirk Cousins. He played through it. Mm-hmm. And he hit the jackpot. His first 3 years in Minnesota are guaranteed for $80 million?
Yeah.
It was something obscene.
Way more than he deserves.
Way more for a mediocre quarterback. But he did it. He did it the way you're supposed to do it. He sat through the franchise tags and he hit the open market. And that's what you have to do. In today's day and age.
In this game, yeah.
Yeah, the way it's set up now, you have to hit the open market to make your money. And Earl Thomas didn't. The last time he got he complained during the last time
4
this
years
happened,
ago,
when he still had 2 years on his contract, and he complained, and they extended him. Again, he should have waited. If you would have waited and hit the open market, then you could have cashed in. But because you would rather have, I guess, security rather than take the chance, now here we are.
It's a crapshoot.
So yeah, the best free safety in the league broke his leg, and my team they had a hard time getting over the Arizona hurdle.
At least they got 2 wins.
They backed themselves into 2 wins is amazing to me. Anyway, okay, you want to talk about points scored this week?
Yeah, there were some good games. High scoring games.
If you're a fan of offensive football,
you don't like defense.
Yeah. 11 teams scored 30 or more points.
That's right.
3 teams scored 40 or more points. And if you want to look at the quarterbacks, there were 13 quarterbacks that threw for over 300 yards.
Oh my God.
And 3 more quarterbacks that threw for 290.
Nearly
or
got
more.
there.
Yeah. There was 5 quarterbacks that threw for over 400. Yeah. It's video game football.
Were there any running backs playing this weekend?
Not really, not that I saw.
No.
I think Zeke had a game.
He did have a good game.
So there's one, but yeah, even Blake Bortles went for over 300 yards this week.
He's been known to do that every once in a while.
It always seems weird though. It's one of the things I don't like about recording on Monday because I haven't had a chance to watch the games.
Yeah.
So all I've seen is the games that were on TV, and that was I saw the Rams-Vikings game, and that was fun. Yeah. I enjoyed that one, and then the New England.
You saw the first half of that,
and then I fell asleep because that's the kind of game that was.
Yeah.
And then. The Falcons losing to Andy Dalton. That hurt my head. And then I got to watch the Seahawks just kind of flubble around. Is that even a word?
It is now. That's exactly how they're played football.
They're stumbling. They're falling down. It's like, what is happening? Why is that happening? Chris Carson sat out. Disley, the tight end.
Disley gone.
Got hurt.
Patellar tendon tear.
Out for the year.
Yeah. Who are the guys that had that recently?
Well, Graham.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham had that
a couple of years ago,
and it took him about 3 years to get back. So.
He only leaving Seattle took care of Jimmy Graham.
That's true.
Now that he's in Green Bay, he's feeling a lot better. I got nothing. I got nothing else.
Josh Rosen passed for more yards than Russell Wilson did.
And he looked. You know what? Josh Rosen looked pretty good. I'm not going to say he's like a world beater or anything, but he looked like an NFL quarterback.
They really should have just started him from week 1, from day 1. I don't know why they gave Sam Bradford all the money.
Well, I get paying Sam Bradford, but
I don't.
But the problem, what I don't get though is, like you said, why wasn't Josh Rosen starting from week 1? And I guess the reason was that Sam Bradford was running for his life. So maybe they were waiting for the offensive line to solidify a little bit before they introduced this guy. But I thought Rosen did a really good job back there. And I'm not saying the Seahawks pass rush is the Rams pass rush.
It's all right though.
But they did a pretty good job of keeping him upright.
Frank Clark is pretty good. I've been liking what I'm seeing out of him.
Yeah. So that I think the Cardinals did a pretty good job offensively. I think defensively there's some work they can do, and I think they probably will.
Rosen only took 1 sack. Didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Bright side, that Cardinals team looks bad.
Yeah, it does.
Oh boy.
Not great. Did you want to talk about the Sunday night game at all?
Oh,
congratulations!
Sure. That was
by
a
the
great
way.
game.
That was a lot of fun.
Ravens did great. I was impressed. I was a little worried because they came out on fire, firing on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
Then things took a little turn for the worst. 14 points for the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then, true to form, the Ravens have not allowed a touchdown in the second half of any of their games this year.
Seriously,
and that
impressive.
Continued. They didn't allow any points, I believe.
There you go.
So
there you go. Collinsworth was talking about he was really surprised that the Pittsburgh just stalled. They just kind of stalled out and didn't move the ball at all.
The Baltimore defense looked great, and then looked awful, and then looked fine.
Yeah.
The Steelers didn't look that good.
I didn't think they looked great.
I was impressed that they were able to keep Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster from doing anything, because I think they held them both to under 70 yards passing. I don't think anybody got above 70 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I was happy with what they did. Brandon Carr had a great game for me, punched away a touchdown pass, and had a couple other great plays in the secondary for Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Smith is coming back next week, so who knows what Brandon Carr does. But that's fine with me to have extra defensive backs that are capable of actually playing good football for once.
It doesn't ever hurt to have an extra DB.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I'm looking forward to the Ravens having a 4th viable pass-catching tight end next week when Hayden Hurst returns.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they run out some 4 tight end sets.
Jumbo.
Yeah.
Some meaty jumbo sets. That'd be sweet.
It's going to be great.
Willie Snead. I was talking about Willie Snead. I didn't realize Willie Snead was as large as apparently he is. Because I was watching him in that game. He was carrying some guys. He'd get the ball and turn up field and start trucking through people.
5'11", 205.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He looks big, though. 205 is a lot for a 5'11 guy.
Maybe Joe Hayden's 5'8". Maybe that's the deal. Maybe that's what's going on
He
there.
could be.
Maybe the defense, the secondary is, or Pittsburgh secondary is just full of small people.
Yeah.
That could be.
Hayden had a nice play. Did you see that? He had that pass breakup in the end zone.
Yeah, he also got burned in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's hard to stay with John Brown, though.
Yeah. And I don't think that was supposed to be Hayden's guy. I think
No,
he
it
just
really
happened
wasn't.
to
I
be
think he had to keep
closest.
going with him because the safety was not there.
Yeah. Why they have a safety on Brown, I don't know that either. That seems like a weird choice to make.
Keep doing it next time.
Yeah, really.
That was a good game. I was happy. I was a little worried going into halftime because I had seen this game before.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger was looking dangerous, and the Ravens' offense was not looking good at all. But they flipped the script back to the first couple of drives of the game, and everything went just peachy.
So congratulations.
Yes.
Nicely done.
So let's jump into our new favorite segment, Quick Reads, where we read off some of the blurbs on RotoWorld's football page and react to them. And we're in the middle of the Kansas City-Denver game as we speak right now. It was halftime when we started recording. It might be into the third quarter by now, but the first few blurbs are on the Chiefs and Broncos players. We have Sammy Watkins exiting the game, will not return with a hamstring injury.
I'm not surprised. Are you surprised?
No, I guess not.
Is it wrong of me to get down on Sammy Watkins? I
No.
mean, really,
You declared him not that great.
he's not. I don't Here's the thing: they paid him a lot of money because he hit free agency.
He
right?
did what he was supposed to do.
And then and they signed him to decent money,
Yeah.
like they were supposed
Good
to
wide
do.
receiver money.
And now he's not available for the team. And I know it's not his fault, or I'm assuming it's not his fault, because why would a professional athlete fake an injury? It doesn't seem to make any sense, especially when you got a guy that can throw you the ball. Because Watkins has been getting touches, right? So why would you do that? But again, if your greatest ability is your availability, Sammy Watkins is not that valuable.
You're going to get that tattooed?
I might at this point.
You should.
Okay, Pittsburgh still not opposed to Bell trade. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Steelers are still expected to be interested in listening to trade offers for holdout Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
So when's the trade deadline in the NFL?
I believe it's around week 8, so it's going to be the week after he comes back, somewhere around there. So he could get a one-game showcase for teams to get a look at him and see that he's still alive and able to run the ball.
Let me ask you this. Under what circumstances do you trade to get Le'Veon Bell?
I don't know. I was trying to think of that when I heard about this news first of running through the teams that would be in playoff contention that would also need a running back. And I'm trying to think of who that would be. I mean, maybe the Patriots. They love making trades for good players and fleecing other teams into giving them their good players.
I don't even know. How do you value it? How do you value what he brings? Because you're paying for a half-season rental.
Right.
So what's that worth? Even if it is a Ferrari, you only got him for 8 games?
Yeah.
That's it?
And the Patriots believe they can get there without him anyway. They don't have to give up any assets.
Because they keep getting there
the
without...
AFC is weak.
Yeah.
It's basically going to come down to if they can beat Kansas City. That'll be a fun matchup if that happens.
That would be
in
a
the
fun
playoffs.
if the Chiefs can keep it up. The Chiefs they tail off. They have a tendency to tail off towards the end
They
of the
might
year.
have a mid-season lull.
Yeah, it might start tonight.
Yeah.
The way
That's how
things
it's
are
looking so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who would take him, though. But I could see some. I don't think it would be anybody that has no shot of making the playoffs. It could be a team hoping to sneak into the playoffs and get a playoff run and get a Super Bowl run that wouldn't normally be expected to get there.
It seems like a lot to put on a running back, though. And
It's going to have to be a complete team that is already fairly good. Obviously, you're going to make the playoffs either way.
I could see, you know what? I could see it happening if Jacksonville was making a strong push, and if something happened to him.
Down, yeah.
He got an injury that was going to hold him out.
Maybe Minnesota if Dalvin Cook never recovers from this hamstring thing.
Maybe. That actually might be a good fit because Le'Veon Bell does a lot of things that would fit well into.
He would be a great match with Cousins, who's got some scrambling ability.
Yeah.
And doesn't need to be super great to get the ball to Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, that could be an interesting match. So look, there's something to watch. But what would you pay for him?
I don't know.
I mean,
and it's not even that. I mean, I think I would offer a draft pick or two.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Steelers would accept, though.
I mean, I wouldn't offer him a first-round pick.
No.
Would you give him a second?
I think, depending on my situation, my team's situation.
Man.
And maybe you can extend him if you've got the money to extend him too.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, if it works out.
I mean, right now there's really no reason to not get Le'Veon Bell if you can get that assurance that he wants to play for you. and you're willing to offer him the money that he wants.
The hard part about it is you can't negotiate with him.
No, but you know what he wants anyway. He wants Todd Gurley money, and that's been established.
Yeah, I think if you paid him around that amount...
He would probably accept the exact same contract that Gurley got.
No, he'd want it guaranteed. He's been talking about...
Yeah, but I mean, like, money-wise.
Maybe. I think the Rams got off early with Gurley.
Yeah.
They got off easy with Gurley.
Definitely.
Because he didn't hit free agency. I think if in the open market, I think Todd Gurley is worth more than that. And I still think Le'Veon Bell in the open market is going to be, if he's healthy, it's going to be a sight to see because nobody wants to pay running backs right now. And he is going to be a really good running back who is going to sit out there. And I'm interested to see who's going to go out and find him. Next up in Roto World.
Who do you got? I'm looking at this.
Coach Pete Carroll hinted Brandon Marshall's playing time may be cut in favor of sophomore wide receiver David Moore. All I can say to this is, okay, that seems fine. No, there are. Let me put it this way: there are no receivers that deserve more playing time on the Seattle Seahawks. There's nobody out there who's lighting it up.
Marshall had an okay game week 1 when he caught a touchdown pass, but he's got 44, 30, and 5 yards in the last 3 games. He's not actually getting it done.
Not really, no. And he had a couple of balls thrown to him yesterday that I thought he should have been able to get to that he did not get to. So that's fine. I'm fine with that. Man, a lot of Seahawks news here. Seahawks will use running back rotation going forward. Pete Carroll said Mike Davis earned a spot in the Seahawks running back rotation.
He looked good.
I mean, he looked.
He didn't look bad.
If the yardstick is
Rashad Penny.
Thank you. I kept calling Penny Richard. That's not right. If the yardstick is Rashard Penny, then you know what? He looks great. He looked just he fits right in. So now they've got a 3-headed monster at tailback.
Though it sounds like they might even pull Penny off and just let him focus on return duties for the time being.
That's a lot to spend on a returner.
It was a weird pick to begin with.
It was a reach. It was kind of a reach.
It was a weird pick to begin.
Yeah.
Go ahead and draft an offensive lineman. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Cowboys coach Jason Garrett revealed Monday that Ezekiel Elliott is playing through knee and ankle injuries.
Looks good to me.
I was going to say, he looked good against Detroit. Did you see him split out wide?
I think Garrett's just trying to get excuses for when things go wrong again because they somehow won this game.
By accident.
Yeah.
I think is how it happened. It was a good game by Dallas. Dallas did great. So I thought the Lions played pretty well.
Their defense didn't show up as much. I mean, Dak Prescott hadn't thrown for 200 yards in like decades.
No, but I think
they held Brady under 200.
I think Dak Prescott is probably a better quarterback than what he's been playing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Tom Brady had problems partially because of Matt Patricia, because Matt Patricia's had 8 years to watch Tom Brady.
He's been scheming against him in practice week in and week out for 4 years.
So I think probably there was some of that going on with that particular performance. Also, not a lot of help at the skill positions during that game for Tom Brady. So I kind of give him a pass for that. The Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are a weird team. They should be playing more like this.
This was more like what we thought they should have been.
Yeah. In order to live up to their potential, this is what they have to do.
Yeah.
So I guess congratulations, Dallas. It's about time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Rob Gronkowski with an ankle listed as a non-participant in Patriots practice Monday. Nobody cares. Jack Doyle of the Colts, hip, was listed as a non-participant in Colts practice Monday.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No.
Okay.
It's all about Ebron.
Coach Steve Wilks confirmed Monday that Sam Bradford will remain the Cardinals' third-string quarterback going forward. Now, okay, so we can all make fun of Sam Bradford. They're doing that. Keep in mind, they're putting him as a third-string quarterback, so they don't have to pay him his bonus.
Yeah.
Because every week that he is a first or second-string quarterback, he gets a participation bonus. It's like I want to say it's like $500,000. It's like $500,000. So every week he doesn't. They keep him on third string. It's costing him that much money.
Good.
So this is a business decision by the Cardinals.
Rule number 1, 2019 NFL rule number 1: no more contracts for Sam Bradford. He's done.
You know the funny thing? It's not funny, but okay, yeah, it's funny. The picture they have of Sam Bradford in Roto World. Have you seen a guy more cross-eyed than that ever in your life?
I think that's just what he looks like.
That's his regular look.
That's his thing.
That's my regular face.
I think it's stuck that way after having played behind so many bad offensive lines.
That could be. He's played behind some dreadful lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, Coach Dan Quinn said Monday that he hopes Devontae Freeman will return for Week 5.
Good. They need him.
So maybe. Do they? Do they, though?
Yeah.
Do they really need him?
They use all the help they can get.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because they've got a lot of help.
If they can run the ball successfully, maybe they hold on to the ball a little bit longer and give teams fewer chances to win.
That's what you're going with?
That's what I'm going with.
That's poppycock. That is utter and complete poppycock. I don't. You know what? They don't deserve. They don't deserve to get a competent. They've got Tevin Campbell.
Tevin Coleman.
That's why I said Tevin Coleman.
Yeah.
He's doing fine.
He's doing okay.
It's fine.
He's not much of a running back. He's more of a pass-catching back.
What do you need Devontae Freeman for?
He's the running back.
So he's going to run the ball.
If he can stay healthy, which I don't think he can anymore.
Okay.
He's constantly in and out of the lineup.
Having him back, does that mean more touchdowns for Julio Jones?
No.
Then what does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, the Falcons are dead to me.
Ugh.
That's all we've got for Roto World.
Well, you're skipping Hayden Hurst. We already talked about him.
I don't see. Where's Hayden Hurst?
He's right below Devontae Freeman.
Well, I've got ads. I don't have anything below Hayden Hurst. What does it say about Hayden Hurst?
Speaking Monday, Ravens coach John Harbaugh said that there's a good chance tight end Hayden Hurst, returning from a foot injury suffered in the preseason, returns for his NFL debut Week 5.
He's been kind of faking sick this whole time, right?
I don't know what's going on. He had foot surgery. I think he had the plate inserted into his foot or something, something. I forget what it was now.
That sounds grisly.
I just saw that he got hurt, and I said, of course.
He's old, too, right?
He is. He played in the MLB, apparently.
Yeah. He's like 26.
Yeah.
A 26-year-old
rookie. It's a weird pick for me. It needs to work out immediately for me to not be, as you put it, frosted.
I think he looks good. In the preseason, he looked really good.
He does.
I have high hopes.
And the Ravens tend to make tight ends look good.
Yeah.
Because that's their whole game plan.
Well, Flacco is there to make tight ends look good.
Yep.
That's all the farther he can throw the ball is that far. That's it.
How dare you? He had some beautiful dimes.
You know what? 20 yards. 20 yards on a rope. That's it. That's it.
20 yards is all you need.
It's all you need. It's all Peyton Manning had. He won a Super Bowl.
20 yards in a cloud of dust.
20 yards in a cloud. Nicely done. Hey, we know what we haven't talked about today.
What?
We haven't talked about the Browns and the Raiders.
That was a barn burner.
That was a piece of work. First of all, let me talk a little bit before we get into the game. How stupid is it that Oakland Coliseum still has the dirt infield?
It's the last one there is.
Is that the dumbest thing ever in today's day and age?
Because apparently it just ruins all kicking opportunities.
You see guys run on it?
Yeah.
They're all running on the turf in that spot, and then they hit that little patch of dirt, and it's like, whoa, skating
it's
rink.
compacted dirt. It's basically ice.
Essentially, yeah.
Your cleats aren't digging into that at all.
Come on. You know what? It was almost as bad. Not quite as bad. You know what's worse? Did you see the Chargers field? I don't know where the Chargers are playing this year, but wherever it is, they're sharing the field with a soccer team.
Yeah, with the Galaxy, I believe.
Yeah. They're sharing the field, which would be fine, but can you please not have the painted soccer lines on the field?
Oh, he takes a shot from the penalty area.
It just was the ugliest thing. I was like, what is it, a college game? What am I watching here?
Keenan Allen from the penalty spot.
Is this JUCO? What's going on? I don't understand. Oh, look, it's the high school championships. That's adorable that they're playing here.
Caleb Sturgis with the goal kick.
It was so bad. Anyway, Browns and Raiders.
42-45.
And again, if you would have told Baker Mayfield going into the game, all you got to do to win this game, Baker, all you got to do is score 46. That's it. Score 46, you win. That's all.
It's too much to ask.
I think so. Can you think Greg Williams could maybe just stop?
He should be fired.
Just stop people from scoring points. Can you just do that, please? Here's an idea.
Definitely not.
Because you got some talent on the defensive side of the ball. Because we've been talking about they look pretty good on the defensive side of the ball.
They really did.
Yeah.
Not last weekend, but they really did.
Well, they've got some guys.
Yeah.
Right? And they let in 45. 45 points. The Raiders.
To the Raiders.
And we've been talking about the Raiders are maybe not as bad as the 0-3 record that they have. I know that you are what your record says you are, but the Raiders, they had 3 losses to teams.
They feel more like a 1-3 team than a 0-3 team.
Yeah. And so they are a 1-3 team now, and that's good. I didn't realize it was going to be the Browns who were going to, succumb to them, but it seems fine. And it's honestly not a bad loss for the Browns, right?
No, they played well on the offensive side anyway.
And they traveled to do it.
Yeah.
So there's some bright spots there. There's a lot of positives you can pull. And I imagine for Browns fans this year, it's all gravy. You won a game at this point So you have 2 games where you didn't lose. So you're golden, right? I mean, as far as you're concerned, everything's fine.
So the road losing streak is still intact, which is great news.
When's the last time?
Follow that.
When's the last time they won a road game?
It was.
Was it 2015?
It was the 2015 game overtime win. I think it was over the Ravens, is what I think I said last week. I do have more Browns trivia though.
Yes.
Since this is the best thing ever.
Ooh, hit me.
When's the last time the Browns put up 40 or more points? Pick a year, any year.
40 points. 2003.
Ooh, 2009.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
All right.
But still, 9 years.
Who was the quarterback? Hoyer?
That sounds right.
Was it the half-season hero?
Could have been Derek Anderson.
Oh, could have been, yeah.
I'll bring it up now. It was a 41-34 win over the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead.
On the road. Who was it?
This can't be right. This cannot be right.
Jeff Garcia.
This says Brady Quinn.
No!
And it says, did I click on the wrong game? What's going on? It says Brady Quinn threw 10 for 17 for 66 yards.
And they scored 40 points? No, you clicked on the wrong game. That's not right.
This is exactly what it says. We have a Phil Dawson field goal, a Josh Cribbs 100-yard kickoff return, another Phil Dawson field goal.
So that's 13.
Another Josh Cribbs 103-yard kickoff return.
Oh, it's 20.
Jerome Harrison with a 71-yard rushing touchdown. Jerome Harrison with an 8-yard rushing touchdown. Jerome Harrison
35.
with a 38-yard field goal or touchdown.
42.
Sorry, 28-yard rush.
Oh my goodness.
41 points when your quarterback throws for 66 yards and you win on the road.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I'm so glad I clicked on that link.
Chiefs, you suck. 2009?
2009 Chiefs.
2009 Chiefs, you're terrible. That is so bad. I don't even have words. I don't have words for how horrible that is.
Castle threw for 331 and 2 touchdowns. No turnovers.
So Castle had a good game.
Jamal Charles had 150 yards rushing.
And lost. Wow.
That's the most unbelievable game I've ever heard of in my life.
That is, you know what? And they used up all of their luck there, and that's why they went.
That's where it is. That's why they lost their last 38 games.
Or whatever it was, 1-32 the last couple of years. That's the reason why. Wow. That's something. That's a good stat.
So we'll be looking for the Browns to put up something else crazy that goes on this next week.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what they do.
Jeez, that's amazing. All right. 2 other overtime games this week. Titans beat the Eagles 26-23.
That was an impressive game by the Titans.
Well, actually, I thought that looked like a fun game to watch. I'm really looking forward to going back and watching that. But it's good for me to see Mariota, go Ducks, have a game where he kind of puts everything together, especially when people are saying he's dinged still.
I can't believe he's hurt.
So he threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah.
Well, him and the rest of the league. They all threw for 300 yards, but yeah, that was a great game. Wentz didn't perform bad, so if you're an Eagles fan, there's still hope there. Eagles having a rough time this year. I think
that's to be expected a little bit. I think
just a natural regression. I think they played a little above themselves last year.
Definitely looked like they were charmed last year.
So that makes sense. And the Texans beat the Colts. And I'll be honest with you, 37-34. I didn't know the Texans
they had it in them.
Could put up 37 points.
Not the way Deshaun's been playing lately.
Deshaun Watson had a heck of a game.
Yeah.
He threw for over 300 yards. He was in our 300-yard club. So well done, Bill O'Brien, saving your job for one more week.
How'd they win?
A field goal in overtime.
Well, how'd they get the ball, though? I thought the Colts had the ball with like 40 seconds left.
Well, I was confused because I was watching this game and it was in overtime and Vinatieri kicked a field goal, and I'm still used to the old overtime rules where it's sudden death. But apparently they kicked a field goal and Houston got a chance to come back and
that's right.
And then I didn't see what happened after that.
Yes, just under 2 minutes left. Kaimi Fairbairn hits the game tire.
Okay.
Colts are driving. They stalled out and they were on their own 44 and they went for it somewhere around there. Their own.
No, they must have been on.
They were on their Colt 43.
Really?
Should have been the 45. That would have been better.
That maybe they would have had 45.
A shot. But they were 4th and 4. They went for it. Luck threw it low. Turned the ball over on downs.
Oh.
24 seconds left. Deshaun Watson passes complete to DeAndre Hopkins for 24 yards. Definitely they're in field goal range now.
Yeah.
They were right on the edge. Then they spiked the ball and hit the
you're saying when they got the ball,
field goal at the end, yeah.
You're saying when they got the ball after the turnover on downs.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah, because 43.
One play for 23 yards.
I was giving you a hard time about this because I thought they were on the Texans.
In Texans territory.
40.
No.
But now that you say that's not a maybe.
I did not agree with the play call. I'm fine with Reich's reasoning for doing it. He just said that 10 out of 10 we're going for that. We're going to go for the win, not for the tie, which is fine. But I don't think I would have done it. I think I would have just gone for the tie. There's also the fact where if you're punting the ball away, there's still a chance you get the ball back.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. You've got to let it play out. Going for it on 4th down in a tie game like that, if you're in your opponent's territory, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're in your own territory, like you said, at the 43, that's a very long.
You can take that field goal without doing anything.
Yeah, you're
just going to gain a couple of yards because you're going to be playing safe to not give up the touchdown.
I like the aggressiveness, but yeah, that may be. And yes, you know what? This is first go around, so maybe he gets better at this. Jared Goff had a heck of a day.
He sure did.
On Thursday.
That was impressive.
I thought that game was pretty well played on both sides. I'm not a huge Kirk Cousins guy, but I thought that the Vikings did a pretty good job keeping up with the Rams.
Oh, they really did.
And really, the only thing I have to say now is, Rams fan, where's your defense?
The defense was a little disconcerting for the lack of it.
Where's the pass rush? I thought this was supposed to be the team with like a huge interior presence.
Yeah.
And the ability to get after the passer.
They didn't do much until the end.
Yeah.
Which I guess is fine. If there's going to be a time that you're going to get after the quarterback and keep him from driving for points, it should be at the end of the game.
It should be at the end.
When you have a lead.
And I'm actually completely fine with this. Rams fan, I hope you're fine with this too, because this is actually a great way for your team to play. You don't need to do a lot defensively. You don't got to dominate every game. If you look around the league, the great defensive teams that do that, they always seem to have trouble when you get to the playoffs. The Ravens are kind of the exception to the rule. They've won a couple of Super Bowls doing it that way, but it's a tough way to make a living.
And I don't know if it'd be successful anymore.
The way the game is geared to be played right now, the field's tilted towards the pass.
Jacksonville might be the only team that could survive on their defensive play in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of another team that I'd want to see try.
We'll see what the Bears do. They haven't played some real offensive talent yet, and they kind of got embarrassed in the second half in week 1 by Aaron Rodgers.
That's going to be a fun team to watch because they seem young and like they haven't quite found themselves yet. So once they get their identity set, that could be a really fun team to watch. Hopefully what we saw, well, if you're a Bears fan, hopefully what you saw on Sunday wasn't just kind of the Tampa Bay being bad, because that could have a lot to do with it.
I think the 6 touchdowns by Trubisky is a little bit of Tampa Bay just being bad. Their secondary is just all... I don't even know if anybody knows who those guys are. Mm-hmm. But I still think that they have what it takes on the defensive side, and the offense is good enough to hang with most teams.
Well, I think the great news for Chicago is that, you know what, they're not going to get any worse. It's a young team, and barring injury, knock on wood.
Knock on all the wood.
They're only going to get better. So the more reps you get, the better off you'll be. And come mid-season, it's going to be fun to kind of take another look at Chicago and just see where they are. All right, so that's kind of all we got for right now. We're talking about coming back on Thursday and recording another kind of half show.
Yeah, we'll get into the Great Big Broken Plain Fantasy Football League. We'll talk about the results. We'll talk about what's coming up for the next week. We might talk about the Monday night game a little bit since that's not over yet. And of course, we'll do our picks for Lose to the Farm and see if we can do any better for once.
It's looking pretty grim right now. Yeah, pretty grim.
And maybe a little fantasy talk too.
That sounds good. Okay, until next time, I'm JB.
And I'm TK.
Good night.
Goodbye.